Professor Nut and Fancy at your service. Gun review time in the bunker. Summer of 2021. In the bunker, it is currently 70 degrees with the studio lighting. 70 degrees. Normally it's about 65 degrees. Really nice, temperate. Top side here in the great state of Wyoming, about 111 degrees currently. Summer of 2021. It's a roaster. No rain in sight. Severe drought. I'm praying for rain. And if you're out west, you should be doing the same thing. Out east, I guess you guys are getting douched. Yeah, we could use some of that. Yeah, we need some rain out here. It's bad. But in the bunker, it's nice and cool. Safe and sound. It's time to review another AR-15. You guys want more Black Rifle reviews? I've done multiple polls. I think in Patreon, I asked, do you guys want more manufactured AR-15 reviews? And the answer is about 75% yes. And I think 25%, which is kind of surprising, said, nah, we're good. We're good. But the vast majority want more Black Rifle reviews. This one really isn't a Black Rifle, but it's an AR-15. And here we go. It's from a brand, incidentally, that basically started off in the toilet in the Nut and Fancy project. Diamondback Firearms. Yeah, I bet you they still hate me. I say that in every Diamondback review I do. I haven't done a lot. This will be my fourth. That's not a lot. But they're first guns I reviewed. In 2011, I did the DB380. 2016, I did the DB9 Compact. On the upside, those two guns were absolutely accurate. Some of the most accurate subcompact pistols in those calibers I've ever tested, and that is to include the Glock 43, which is amazingly accurate for me when I shoot it. But we had pins falling out of those guns. They basically disassembled, not completely, but partially on the shooting line. You could watch those ancient TMP reviews, and you'll hear my rail session against it. And as far as I know, they're still under a non-recommend, says the professor. That's right, professor with these glasses on. Hey, Nut and Fancy, take those glasses off. They're goofy. Nah, I'm leaving them on. They're staying on for now. Yeah, so they didn't do well. They did poorly. Here's the thing, and I've always said this, and I truly mean it. I want all gun manufacturers to do well. I'm an adult as I proctor this project. I don't hold grudges. I'm professional, and I just want them to succeed. That being said, when they don't succeed, something happens, I don't hold back. I didn't hold back on Diamondback. I said back to the drawing table and quality control, you should go. Maybe, at least from what I've seen from their long guns, I circle back and I do an update review on the DB9 subcompact if I can get one at Handgun Haven or Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But in 2016, I got a hold of a DB10. That was their AR-10 variety. Nice. And man, did that thing shoot well. Holy cow. You TMPers who have been following all the videos, watching all the videos, thank you very much. Keep doing it. Subscribe. Be a long-term donor. Short-term donors, thank you very much for dropping by. But it is the long-term donors currently using Patreon that keep all this going. Pay for all the stuff. And maybe put a few dollars in my pocket for all the hard work I do. Yeah, you guys saw that video. The DB10 shot so well. And I got it from, I think it was Gunny's. I loaned it, and it was in 6.5 Creedmoor. It underwent winter testing because that was a time of year. So it was not a raging 111 degrees. It was more like 20, maybe teens when I tested that gun, and it did fabulous. We ran it in Soldier Boy. It did great. Really a good gun, and I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. So that's a pretty glowing recommendation on a brand that, once again, was residing in the outhouse of the Nut and Fancy project. So that opened my eyes and said, hey, at least their long guns are working very, very well. And I'm glad to see the company still around. They are in Florida, like I said in the other reviews. And now we're going to consider not the DB10, but we're going to take the smaller version, and we are going to review the Diamondback DB15 in 300 blackout. Says the professor, 300 blackout. a cartridge that many TMPers still have wood for. That's right, I said wood for. You guys are very, very excited about the 300 Blackout. Here's the deal, and this is so fun to be able to say this, is I mentioned in that other video that I was trying to do a review on this, and we got into POU discussion, and it basically devolved from me just babbling on a rant about caliber, 7.6239 versus 300 Blackout. What I did with that discussion is I broke it out into an update video on just my thoughts. That's all it is. I'm not the expert on all this, but I do a lot of shooting, a lot of long-range shooting out in various conditions, hot, cold, snow. I have certain philosophies that I adhere to. They're very consistent. Go watch that video. It's going to be an update on the 300 Blackout cartridge, and I think you guys will like it. So a lot of the POU for this gun will be in that philosophy video. It's a systems philosophy video, which TMPers seem to love to this day. They love it when I do systems philosophy videos because it helps guide their purchasing and save them money. Save you money. So I have had many requests to do more 300 Black content. This is going to be one of the guns. I have another AR. It's from Wyndham, and it was tested alongside of this. I'm going to mention that gun. I don't have it here in bunker. These were checked out from Handgun Haven in Salt Lake City, Utah. Thank you, Adam Pratt there in Handgun Haven. He's associated with the Nut and Fancy project, and now we have a couple years under our belt of being associated with HH. Thanks very much. This gun came in that huge lot of firearms from a private owner. And I posted that video last year on the B channel, and it was basically a private owner that had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of guns, and he got rid of them. And he went into HH, and they bought the entire collection. And then they price each one. Most of those guns, if you watch it on the B channel, are sold. This one, I will tell you right now, is spoken for, so they will not sell it. Adam is actually going to purchase this gun himself, the owner of Handgun Haven, and he is bugging me about this review. When is the review done, dude? I need my 300 Blackout DB15. And I have had it for some months, but, that's the way it goes. I do a lot of different content here. It's just not guns. It's way, 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 way more interesting, says the professor. For instance, watches. If you're not a watch guy, you are missing out. This is a Spinnaker Rec in bronze, NHM, Nut and Fancy hands modded. So I have not done anything with these hands. I'll put a link below. Spinnaker makes such great watches. The Cahill is awesome. The whole chrono I just reviewed, really excellent. So that's just some of that content that I'm talking about. So it's not just guns. A lot going on here. And I do not rest very much. I'm working all the time for my donors. So 300 Blackout, Diamondback DB15. I went to their website. Of course, it's available in 5.56. This review will, of course, serve for that caliber. Interestingly, we've tested it in 300 Black for this review. And different finishes are available in the DB15 series. I'm impressed with a lot of them, including this one. It's not a black rifle. It's tan, obviously, FDE. I saw a Sports South exclusive on their webpage last night. It looked about like this. I don't think this is a distributor exclusive. I think this is, at least when the owner bought it, it was cataloged from Diamondback. It has a different buttstock on it, which I'll talk about in features review. But you know me, I like FDE to this day, even though we've got kind of a two-tone thing going here. So we've got black nitride on the barrel and on the buttstock and the A2 grip. It's cool. I just like it. It has some really higher-end finishes, too, available, higher-end hand guards. Those ones are still relatively affordable, actually very affordable with Armageddon 2.0 going on. I saw them for, and I don't know the exact SKU number on them, but I think like 800, something like that, maybe 850 for upgraded firearms. That's what you get with Diamondback. You're getting a lot of value with their guns. They are a value gun manufacturer, which is why it's very fun to bring something high value to the bunker. We'll see if it's a recommend or not. And this is what I focus on, whether I'm talking about a watch, a knife. It's always high value. I'm just a high value guy. I think most of you guys are too. So get your favorite caliber, get your favorite finish. This one is pretty standard. And again, we'll go into features reviews here in a second. And just a quick bounce into POU. What can I say other than the difference in caliber? It's an AR-15 and it fulfills all those applications of which we have discussed for hours here in video form. That's right, the professor in video form. Steampunk glasses, these things are so ridiculous looking. I look like a retiree in Las Vegas with these things. You may see them again though, they're pretty funny. Yeah, so it's the same POU we've discussed forever. Again, when we talk about 300 Black, it's a little bit different. And again, there's too much to say in a gun review. You're just going to have to go watch that entire philosophy video. I think it ended up being about 43 minutes. But like my philosophy videos, you just talk to TMPers, people who follow me, the time goes by like that. Seriously, you'll look down, you go, holy crap, the video's over already, and you look down, it's 43 minutes. So we move along. We cover some meaningful stuff. We joke around a little bit, but we are laser beam focused on you spending your money smartly, on you developing systems that make sense. So this is a systems edition. What I will say here under the POU banner is, I did say in the philosophy video, I would be very careful about integrating a 300 Black AR-15 with a mixture of 5.56 AR-15s. They use the same magazine. And as I've warned you, you can actually mistakenly load a 300 BO round in there and blow up your gun if you're trying to shoot it out of a 5.56. That's very dangerous. It's easy to do. I would say either go with one or the other. One or the other. And I'm a 5.56 guy. No apologies, and it fulfills my needs. 300 Black is a great cartridge. And again, I do give it plenty of props in that video. Go check it out. That's POU, pretty much standard AR-15 stuff. You guys get it. Features. A2 birdcage on this variety of DB-15. I don't have any problem with that at all because, again, this is a value rifle. And with value rifles, you're just going to see some smart decisions to reduce costs. This is a very personal thing too, the muzzle device that guys want. I'm that way. I like specific muzzle devices. I'm not in love with A2, never have been. One thing that I do love about it is that it has standard grooves for attaching like my Gemtech Halo GMT suppressor 2. So I do like that. And so that's pretty cool. The one thing I'll say is I don't have a 30 caliber Halo GMT, and so that's a different thing altogether. You'd have to have one that is specifically set up for a 30 cal. The threading on this, being a 30 cal rifle, is 5/8 by 24. Consider that if you're going to get a muzzle device, you're going to be getting an AR-10 muzzle device. Sometimes they're heavier. I still absolutely love the battle comps. They are so awesome. They're so effective at taming a gun. I'm talking AR-10 variety. You don't really need it with this. I think a Blackout is very, very soft shooting. Jardine agreed as well. They're calling it a heavy profile barrel. It has very high grade steel, 4150, black nitrided, 1 1/8 twist. I measured 0.73, and it's about ideal for a 30 caliber gun. This, guys, is the diameter that I wish Soviet AKs or any AK would use when they're chambered for 7.62-39. 30 cals, well, it's 30 cal, 0.3 inches, right? And so I think this is appropriate. I don't know if I would consider this a heavy profile, but I think DB does, 0.73 inches. And then interestingly, notice that the gas system isn't here. It's not carbine. It's definitely not mid-length. It's definitely not rifle. It's all the way back here. This is a pistol gas system. Well, kind of pistol. I measure it 5 inches from the beginning of the receiver to the tap-off point. And the reason for that is because of the caliber, the 300 Blackout. So they have adequate pressure when it is canned up. They sometimes in these guns, in the 300 BO guns, they will move the gas system back to get more gas impulse into that bolt carrier group. And, you know, I didn't really notice that it was a pistol gas system while I was shooting it, which is surprising. Usually I can tell. It just seems like the bolt runs faster. The recoil impulse is a little bit more. Maybe it's because the gas characteristics of a 300 BO are different. I don't know. But that's where it is. So if that bugs you, and if you're not going to can it up, I think it probably should, if I'm going to be consistent. I don't like pistol length gas systems if I'm not running a 300 blackout, apparently. I like at least mid-length. It's less, not more, but less heat going into my bolt carrier group, less dirt and stuff, and it's just a softer shooting impulse. But this particular DB15 has that very short gas system, direct gas impingement, obviously not a piston. Just keep that in mind. If it bugs you, go somewhere else. The handguard on this is a Diamondback variety. I think they put this together. I have someone like Midwest Industries produce it for them. It is a very smart handguard. I really can't give any criticism to it. It's pretty awesome. 1.5 inches in diameter. It's M-LOK capable, heavily ventilated, very lightweight. This is a 13-inch handguard. I just love it. It has a very short run of Picatinny rail for a BUIS, or maybe even a weapon light with a proper mount, mounted obliquely on your handguard. And then you have another short run back here. I've always ranted about manufacturers putting a solid pick rail on top of a fore-end. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's extra weight. It's uncomfortable. It's ridiculous. But Diamondback did not do this. I would not replace this handguard. I would not replace this barrel. Which you're starting to see a theme, aren't you? Because I'm super particular. Probably just like you guys. So you guys who have a lot of AR experience, you have a lot in your inventory, you've built ARs, you know what you like. And you've shot it and you go, this works for me. And then maybe you shoot something else and that barrel doesn't work for me. You just know what you want. This gun is smart. It's smart. For its price point, it's super smart. We have a 4 hex nut attachment system on the collar for the handguard. It did not rotate. I had no problems with it. One thing you're lacking in a value AR-15 like this is a heat sink dissipation system, much like Patriot uses, POF uses. Go watch my POF reviews, and they are one of the few manufacturers that, with this area of the gun and also their bolt construction, they do things to ventilate that heat and make it dissipate out of the receiver quicker. This is just a standard AR, which means it'll be fine. This is not a full auto weapon, but keep it in mind. It's a forged upper and lower. That is obviously my favorite. Favorite. I've always said that ever since the inception of TMP. Not that I hate billet. I don't hate billet, but it's more weight, it's more complexity. And it usually results in thicker walls of the upper and lower receiver to achieve the desired strength levels because it's non-forged. Forgings are strong. They can be lighter weight. They are just pressed under tremendous pressure forging, and they're perfect. And I don't need special features. I don't need some funky, grasping grooves on my lower. It's ridiculous. They're basically mil spec. The forger of these, as far as I can ascertain, is Anchor Harvey aluminum, as indicated by the broken A there on the upper. You can see it. Sorry for the shadows. Nature of the bunker. The rest is standard AR-15, dudes. I mean, 90-degree safety, very positive. Standard AR-15 controls. We have a forward assist, completely unnecessary, but they're going for the mil-spec thing here. A dust cover. We have the standard swing down trigger guard here that you might want to put a mag pull on because it's not enlarged. It's just a price point. The trigger is a standard AR-15 trigger, which means it's very reliable, but it sucks. It sucks. It pulls awful. But it's a standard AR trigger. It's reliable. You can hone it up yourself. You can do your own trigger job, or you can, as we often do, drop in something modular. And I have experience with pretty much, I would say, most AR-15 triggers at this point, and almost all of them are exceptional. All of them. AR Gold, Timney, Chip McCormick, Rock River Arms. That's not a modular. It's, it has a component facet to it, but it's easy to install. And the Rock River triggers are fantastic, and they're very low cost. A2 pistol grip. At least it's not rubber, so hard plastic. All this is normal AR-15 back here. Carbine, a buffer. So I weighed the buffer. I think I have it here somewhere. 2.6 ounces. So that's a carbine buffer. No surprise there. We don't have a way to put on a single point sling. That's not included. And I don't think this castle nut is staked. But I just crank those things down, and I usually don't have a problem with it. Usually. I've had them come loose here and there, but if you keep them cranked down, no big deal. The buttstock is a little bit different than I'm seeing currently on the DB15 series of guns. This is called a Rogers Super Stock. Rogers Super Stock. And this is the first time I've ever shot it, and I got to tell you, I really like this stock. I mean, it is really tight on this mil-spec buffer tube. It is really tight. It has a way to lock right here, as a lot of them do. This isn't like innovative. But once you lock this Rogers Super Stock, it is solid. Has a really good rollover cheek piece that didn't grab any beard. It's very sure, easy to adjust, big lever, very Magpul-ish right here. It's got a hard plastic butt pad right here, sling attachment points. I like it. I'm going to put a link to this below that it will take you to Pro 2A Friendly Optics Planet. I really love the stock. I would run this Rogers just from having shot this gun, and I was heretofore ignorant about it. I didn't know anything about this butt stock, but it was great. Simple. And no doubt it's a low-cost butt stock, but it gives you full adjustability, 6-position, locks very solidly. More solidly, I might say, than a Magpul, and I wish TD and I had talked about this buttstock, but I didn't have experience with it at the time, but I'll just kind of throw it in right here, right now. Charging handle is standard AR-15, no big deal there. If you want to upgrade, you'll be spending some more money. This is my testing and review scope. It's just a simple Burris 3x9, circa 2008 is when I got it for TMP, and this is what I shot the gun with. So I only shot it with a 9 power. You see a mini Allen wrench here in case I want to zero my dials out. Just a single piece scope base. There you go, features. The rest is pretty normal. This is a Lancer magazine in that very cool red. Good looking, translucent. Here's a look at the magwell of the lower forged receiver. And now we go to how it shot the Diamondback DB15. What did the professor think of it? Professor. I'm just joking around, dudes. I loved it. That's what I thought about it. So did Jardine. It shot great. We had absolutely no stoppages whatsoever. I used a variety of ammunition, shooting out of stash, and I purchased a quantity from Handgun Haven. We don't really know what brand those were. What am I trying to say? He had a bulk quantity of these rounds, and I bought several hundred rounds from him. That, coupled with some very high-end stash ammo I had in 300 Black, is what we pushed out of the DB15 and 300 Blackout. 100%. Nice, smooth impulse despite the pistol gas system, like we said. This is a standard 16-inch barrel, by the way, if I did not mention that. Yeah, this is great. Just standard AR-15, what we come to expect out of a modern production AR-15. Here's the accuracy of this. Shot at 100 yards in raging heat. Oh my gosh, it was so hot. So I almost got, actually I did get with a couple groups, about MOA, 1 inch. The DB15, a variety of loads represented right here. So I wouldn't say it's like amazing accuracy, but it was windy, and my rest wasn't great. So I did not have my Caldwell lead sled. I had my plastic one. So I think some of the opening of those groups was due to the rest. And I'm representing that. I wrote down there, you saw it, probably one MOA, and I will call this gun an inch shooter in 300 Blackout at 100 yards. I also shot that Wyndham AR in 300 Blackout, the same chambering. It also has a horrible trigger. These were the groups I obtained under the same rest and the same environmental conditions, same shooter. So the Diamondback won mostly, I think. So I would classify the accuracy as good to excellent. I wouldn't say outstanding in this chambering. I didn't see that. But again, I had some limb facts going on there, which I talked about. Would I buy this gun? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No problems, especially sub $1,000. This one's going to be even much less. I mean, on their website, this one is listing right now in 2021 for $777. I don't know if it's in stock, if you can get a Diamondback DB15 in your chamber of choice. I don't know. I would kindly ask you to go to Handgun Haven and Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store. Give them a chance first. Order through them. Again, gun stores don't make anything on guns. They don't. It's like chump change. But at least they hear from TMPers, and so they like knowing that the publicity is serving a purpose for no other reason. I don't pay them. They don't pay me. It's a pure relationship. Give it a shot, though. I would buy this, no problemo. I'm getting to the point, and I am actually to the point that I think the Diamondback AR-10 and AR-15 platforms are just fantastic. I forgot to tell you about the Bolt Carrier Group. Speaking of fantastic, it's basically very mil-spec-y. 8620 Carpenter steel. Actually, I don't know if that's Carpenter steel, but it's 8620 steel, MPI, and shot peened and staked gas key, all of which are pretty normal nowadays. They weren't when I started TMP, but my point is that it's a well put together Bolt Carrier Group. I don't think you're going to have any problems with. Pretty amazing since it is a value AR-15. So, Professor says at the end of this review, round of applause for Diamondback Firearms. Now out of the outhouse. Out of the outhouse. That's right. They're putting together really good guns. And by the way, I can't believe I forgot this. This thing without the glass was only, and is only 6 pounds, 8 ounces with this profile barrel. 6 pounds, 8 ounces, 300 blackout AR-15, under $800 retail. Dude, 100% reliable, very accurate in my testing. Again, I'm not putting, thousands of rounds through this, but all indications point up for Diamondback DB15s. They seem to be very legitimate. So, thanks again to the donors of the Nut and Fancy Project. They are the reason I work so hard for you, and I do. I put in about 40 hours this week, maybe 50 next week, including everything I do to make all this content possible. Be a donor, never too late to join. Link is below. At least subscribe. Still, fight the attack that YouTube does on me. They attack my numbers in half for years. Fight against it by subscribing. Hit that notification bell. Go to YouTube. Watch for different content posting there. It's a great platform, YouTube. Sam's platform's awesome. Pro-freedom, pro-Second Amendment, pro-gun. Not too sure if it's pro-Panzerfaust. Not too sure about that. Yeah, not too sure. It's fake. Yeah, no shit, right? Some guys think it's real, I have to say that. No, donors bought these ridiculous props, but it kind of takes some of the pressure off of me having to be somewhat entertaining here in the bunker as we talk about AR-15s. Thanks again. I look forward to talking to you soon. Live streams in Patreon. Check them out. Yeah, we'll talk person to person there. Signing off. See ya.